Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about meditation. And before you swipe or keep scrolling, I encourage you to hold on just a second, because I was like you. Before I was in this like spiritual awakening journey, when I heard meditation, I was just like, oh, like, no, my mind is overactive. This is not something that I want to do. I don't like sitting in silence. Um, is there another way? Because when I got into the psychic development, everyone kept saying, sitting in the power, you have to meditate in order to create that clear channel between you and spirit. And I was just like, oh no, this isn't going to go well. Oh, but then I was like, all right, I'm going to try. So I would do like little guided meditations. And I found that that was good for kind of uh, dipping my toes in the water, 5 minute, 10 minute. Um, and I was like, okay, you know what? Actually, I feel like really relaxed. Like I actually really enjoy this. Um, I remember I used to take like power yoga classes because I couldn't do just um, the more relaxing type. It had to be like a crazy workout. So I would do these power yoga classes like boot camp. But my favorite part was at the end doing the shavasana, and you're just lying on your back and they're kind of leading you through a visualization. So I was like, okay, this is not so bad. I can do this. But then like pretty much everything else in my life, I was like, well, if it's not challenging me and if it's not hard work, then I'm not going to get where I want to be. I'm not going to develop as fast as I want to develop. Um, so that's like kind of one of my deep seated beliefs that I am over time working through to change is that I need to be challenged. Things need to be hard. Otherwise, they're not worth doing. And I would take that into every area of my life, but specifically, it would come out in fitness. Like when I was training for ultra marathons, I would go running on 20-mile runs, but I would refuse to listen to music or anything like that because I was like, well, if you can't do long distance without music, then the people who need the music are like weaker and they're relying on it's like they're using as a crutch, and I don't need a crutch. And it sounds crazy because it is crazy. But I took that straight into the spiritual everything. Even practicing, I couldn't just practice once or twice a week. It had to be like 6 days a week, and if I didn't do it, then I would have to feel guilty because I'm not working hard enough. So meditating, I took those like really enjoyable guided meditations, and I slowly worked into using frequency, sound healing meditations. And I started to be like, oh, this is nice. And I could do it for like 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. So without the guided. And then it started to creep in where I was like, well, I need to be doing this for at least 45 an hour. I should be able to do more, but I can't. Like my concentration, I just can't sit still. And also, I didn't want myself to be comfortable because, of course, it has to be uncomfortable or it's not worth doing. So I would be like sitting, but my back is screaming, and then I'm not fully immersed in the process, so I'm frustrated at myself. It's like saying it out loud actually is kind of embarrassing because it just sounds so nuts, and I would never tell anyone. If you were saying to me and what I just said, I'd be like, take a chill pill, relax, and take a break. Um, but then I had an astrology reading, and the girl said, you need to welcome ease into your life. That is one of your lessons in this life, that it doesn't have to be so hard, right? Almost unclench your fist so that you're open to receiving versus like white knuckling your way through life. So she was like, I want you to do a guided ease meditation, and you should lie down and be comfortable and relax. And I was just like feeling so triggered. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. And I found one that I really liked, and I was like, this is lovely. And I realized that I would be more open to receiving uh, messages from spirit. Uh, I my body would be fully relaxed, so you're just more receptive, right? And of course, like all other things, I ended up doing that for a while, and then I was like, all right, enough of this like sissy business. Like I need to go back to um silent meditation, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but for me specifically, that was like something that I needed to learn. Um and actually, even talking about this now, I'm like, I need to go back to those guided meditations of just like, you know you have to question your why are you doing the things that you're doing, even if they're good things. You're like, why am I signing up to practice with all these people? Is it because I love practicing in the psychic development, or is it because I'm operating out of fear of losing my ability? Which, by the way, is not a thing. You can't lose something that is already inside of you. The whole thing with psychic development is that it's not that you are learning how to do something. The idea is like you have it all inside of you already. And what we're really doing is unlearning the programming that we've taken on from what we've been told growing up, from society, all those things. It's always, hey, you need this to be happy, where it's like, wait, actually, you have all the tools inside of you. And it's just about stripping off the junk, um, the outdated uh, belief systems about ourselves. Um, it's about simplifying. And you'll even find in the spiritual community, there are people who make things more complicated than I think they need to be. For example, one book that I read by a psychic medium, there was a chapter and it was how to connect with spirit. And it was like, I kid you not, 10 steps of how to sit and get yourself connected to spirit. But you have to do like a prayer, you have to do a meditation, you have to do a visualization. I'm not joking, and I will find it sometime. And I was just like, this is not my jam. I don't like all the complicated like 18 steps in order to do something. I just want to do it. And what I've found is that, like with psychic mediumship, it's all just like a shift in your awareness, your intention. If I just think about connecting with spirit, well, I can see someone almost right away because they're always there, right? There's a really great, and I'll talk about this in the future, like the people who've really impacted me in amazing positive ways. But there's this one psychic medium on YouTube, and his name is Charlie Kelly, and he's over in England, and I'm an Anglophile, so I like already loved him. But what I really like about him is his sense of humor and how he simplifies. It's almost like he calls out all the BS of the people who make spirituality this like multi-step impossible, like, oh, everything is a ritual. Everything is this like a litany of steps that you have to do, and they overcomplicate it and make it seem out of your reach if you're not willing to do set amount of steps, right? And he takes away all of that. And I loved his sense of humor, how he makes it so applicable and easy to understand and easy to incorporate in your own practices. I highly recommend him. And I'll put his name in the notes as well for you to check out, because he's great. Um, so yeah, so I've had to take that lesson into meditation specifically, where because I would get an idea of like, well, this is what meditation should be. But then I was like, actually, like meditation can be sitting outside and just not being on your phone and looking around you about, because I think meditation at the end of the day is really just about tuning out the excess noise that we're constantly distracting ourselves with. So it doesn't always have to be sitting in the dark with your eyes closed. It can be, there are things, if I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's like walking meditations that you can do. There's silent meditations where you're just in nature. I think it's just about disconnecting yourself, unplugging. And it doesn't have to be for 8 hours a day. It doesn't have to be even for an hour a day. Even if it's just a few minutes of unplugging and reconnecting, I think that that is the most meaningful. Um, it's like your intention is the most meaningful part of it. And it's just like getting healthy. Like, you don't say change everything overnight. It's like small steps, and do it because you want to do it, not because you feel like you have to do it. So, in any case, um, the concept of meditating can be very overwhelming, because it's really because we tend to have this idea of what it's supposed to look like. You're in sitting in lotus position, and like, oh, and that's just not, or um, and this is not the case, right? It can be, but it doesn't have to be. And I just want to encourage you to open your mind and research different types of, how do other people meditate, because there's so many different ways to do it. Um, and like I said, at the end of the day, it's what is your intention behind meditating? Are you sitting there like I was for like 45 minutes, an hour, screaming like, oh my God, like my low back is going to fall off? It's like, but at least I meditated in silence for an hour. Like, that's crazy. It's crazy. So, find your own way. Use it as a buffet, like the internet specifically, right? See what everyone else is doing, and then maybe take a couple of those things and put them together, and then do your own thing. Make it your own way that you do it. Because spirit doesn't care, right? They know your soul, your intention behind everything that you do, and that's the most important thing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Bye.